This church, we're going to lose probably most of the building. This is actually our Museum Studies Archaeological Field School, and the students today are excavating an old church that we have here on the site, but also a priest's house. So this is the old Prairie City Catholic Mission. And so Prairie City was one of the many little towns or cities that were on the Santa Fe Trail. Baldwin gets built later, and it sort of absorbs all of the towns and cities that are in the area, and these places sort of get abandoned. So this was the Catholic mission that was built here on what's called Liberty Hill, and it overlooks the Santa Fe Trail. The mission itself was built in 1859. The church existed for about 30 years, and then they stopped worshiping here and they moved somewhere else. This church is around the same age as Baker, and when you hear the stories of Baker as being sort of this Methodist college that had access to the Santa Fe Trail and that the Methodists were here, this is a Catholic church. The Catholics were here at the same time as well. And so you don't necessarily hear the story about how the Catholics were also using the Santa Fe Trail in similar ways. They just didn't have a university. And so not only are we going to find some interesting stuff, but it's almost like a story that doesn't get told a lot in this area. So far, the first thing that we found that was evidence was we found pieces of a chamber pot from the late 1800s.
I wasn't expecting a class like this to be taught at Baker, and when I saw it, I was like, this sounds really interesting. I'm just going to enroll for it because I think it's fun. And so far, I've definitely really enjoyed this class. It's gotten me a chance to be outside when it's nice and get a little bit of a break from being on campus.
So we're inside of the church of what would have been the Prairie City Catholic Mission. And so we have the entranceway here, and we did a brief clean on this, but we're gonna continue and try to work on it. And then what we did is we separated everything in the squares. So each student has a square, and then of course we have a divided line in between.
I'm just sifting through some of the dirt that I've gotten out of my square because I've been finding some glass shards and I've found square head nails.
Historians tell a story based on reading text. Archaeologists tell a story based on material culture. They really need to work together to sort of create, what is history. It's not just what's being written, because written stories are all from different perspectives. It's skewed, it's whatever. Archaeology gives us that material culture, and it's also skewed because it's based on my interpretation. They find something, they ask me, what is it? And it's like, well, it seems like it is this. It makes sense it would be this or that. But they go together and they complement each other to tell us a better history. This church, we're going to lose probably most of the building. And so by doing this documentation, by doing the 3D models, even if the building no longer can stand, we'll be able to recreate it digitally and have evidence that it did exist here in a certain way.